somebody who actually could find the attackers before they attacked.
Senator Durbin.
Thank you. Mr. Baker, you've said in your opening testimony how frustrated you are, I guess is the word I'll use, with this infrequent inquiry by Congress as to what the hell is going on with Section 702. 2 years, 6 years, we can't make up our mind up here. But the fact of the matter is, this issue is timely not just because of this section, but also because of the current American awareness of the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. And it makes a difference, as you well know. Excuse me just a second. We're talking about situations in Chicago and Minneapolis where warrantless searches lead to helicopters landing on the roof of an apartment building and people crashing down the front doors of homes without a warrant. It appears that Americans don't care for that any more than they did at the time of the British controlling this country. It appears that people want to know, by what right are you doing this to me? And that is a legitimate question. When it comes to questions of privacy, it certainly is a concern, if not greater. Ms. Goitein, I'm trying to figure out the numbers here based on what we've heard in the testimony. The intelligence community and the FBI have touted reforms they say have dramatically reduced the number of warrantless U.S. person searches. For example, the number of such FBI searches has reportedly fallen from nearly 3 million in 2021 to about 5,500 in 2024. Is that what you understand?
Well, as I said before, we actually don't know the number for 2024. It fell to maybe 57,000 in 2023. We don't know how long the FBI was using this particular tool, so the data may be incomplete for 2023 as well. Also, we know that around 50% of the drop can be attributed to a change in the way the government counted queries, which happened for the year of 2022.
They reported to us that fewer than 2% of these searches turn up any results.
Yeah.
By my count, that would mean requiring the FBI to get a court order just over 100 times a year, far fewer than the number of court orders that they already obtain every year under other FISA authorities. Is that correct?
In fact, all of the reform proposals that are under serious consideration don't kick in until after a search has been run and a communication has been identified. So, in fact, the warrant would only be required in those cases, which is 2%. So, yes, if in fact there were 5,000 queries in 2024, that would be a little over 100 warrant applications.
100 warrant applications. That seems to me to be not an unreasonable expectation on the part of people who are mindful of this Fourth Amendment.
I would agree.
Professor Klein, you talked about your reverence for the Fourth Amendment in the courses you teach. Why would asking the agencies to go for a warrant in 100 cases be a hardship?
Thank you, Senator, and I appreciate the question, and I, of course, appreciate the concern for privacy and civil liberties. The issue is that in the most important cases, where the query actually is exceptionally valuable, you don't know that something is there. You don't know that there's this worrying connection until you run the query. That's why these queries can potentially be so valuable, because something may seem like this level of a priority, but when you find that the person previously spoke to an al-Qaeda terrorist overseas or a Chinese intelligence officer overseas, all of a sudden the case takes on a new complexion, a new urgency, and it goes to this level of priority. Just like if before 9/11 the investigators had realized that Khalid al-Mihdhar had a multiple entry visa to come to the United States and actually had entered the United States, that search would have gone to a code red immediately. We need to find these analytically explosive but unknown facts by running these queries. And so by definition, you won't know to go to get a court order unless you realize that the information is there.
And you believe current rules don't allow that to happen?
Well, current rules don't require a court order, Senator. I actually share Mr. Baker's concern that current rules may be allowing too few queries. The Fort Hood Commission said we need to have federated query tools to enable FBI agents to discover analytically significant information in FBI holdings.
Ms.
I understand that we...
Your response?
It never ceases to amaze me when I hear the argument that the government shouldn't have to get a warrant because they don't have anything approaching probable cause. The fact that the government is conducting thousands of searches of Americans' private communications every year on just a hunch is exactly why we need a warrant requirement. The purpose of warrants is to prohibit exactly those kinds of fishing expeditions. That is the balance that the framers struck.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I think we can all agree